Hey, it's your boy AJ back with another freaking video, and today I'm here with a story time, you guys. I'm here with a juicy story time, so make sure you got your liquor, girl. If you got something to eat, if you got whatever you need, girl, grab it, because we got a juicy story time. So let's roll this intro and get directly on into this video. So the first thing I want to say is there are a lot of stories that we're going to be telling over on the membership. I've already started telling some of them, so if you don't know, I have a membership, and you can join the membership by going down to my description box and clicking the first link that say join Messy Bottoms, and you can be a messy bottom. Pick whichever tier you want to pick, girl, and you know, get the exclusive tea over there. But without further ado, let's get on into this story time. Now, this story time take place right after I got kicked out of 12th grade story time. Now, I did say in the story time, I said, child, there's something that went down after that, but I couldn't get into it. I could not get into it because, quite frankly, this story time was too long to throw in the middle of that story time. Now, if you haven't seen that story time, let me give you a brief refresh, but I do advise you to go watch that whole story time in full. Now, in that story time, I said months before I even got kicked out of school, my mama had took my phone and I had went and bought me a little iPod, because you know, you can FaceTime, you can text, and you can do everything you want to do on that iPod. I had my iPod. My mama didn't know nothing about it, but she started figuring out like he got his door closed, he always hiding, something's going on in their room. So one day I came home and my door was gone. So my door was gone off the hinges. My door was gone off the hinges, girl. Goofed and gagged me, and that same day I ended up getting caught with my iPod. Now, I ended up getting caught with my iPod by my mom, because she ends up like, not, I almost said busting in, girl. She wasn't no busting in. There wasn't no door to bust into. She ended up walking in one time of night. I don't even know how I didn't hear her, and she ended up seeing me, you know, talking and playing around on my iPod. Now, I was on the phone with we're gonna give them nicknames. We're gonna give them Ty and Leo. I was on the phone with Ty and Leo. We were kikiing, and my mama busted. Here I am laying down on this bed kikiing on the iPod, girl, in the wee hours of the night. So my mom walks in and she's trying to, you know, get the iPod from me, and at this point I'm like, girl, I'm not giving you this iPod. Like, you took the phone, but I spent hard-earned coin on this iPod, and you're not getting the iPod. Like, girl, go fight another battle. I'm sorry, you called me, woo, I'm caught, but you're not getting the iPod. Like, I'm caught, but you're not getting it. So of course she brings in my stepdad, because you know, my stepdad, me and him don't have that great of a relationship. And like I say all the time, all my story times come together in co-line. It's like a great story that you can watch, and it's a great long movie. So if you haven't seen the story time about my stepdad, go watch it, because that is a juicy story time. Go watch that one too. So my mom called my stepdad into the room because she knew we didn't get along. So he comes into the room and he's trying to take the iPod, and I'm not giving the man the iPod. Like, I don't know why she called you. You call Barack Obama. He not finna come get it out of my hand. Like, nobody's getting the iPod. Like, y'all go sit down somewhere. Like, I don't know what y'all want to do. I don't know what we're gonna figure out about this, but y'all not getting the iPod. Like, y'all gotta get that through the head. So at this point, I'm arguing back and forth with him about this iPod. He's threatening me. Like I said, he was real, and he would love to, you know, put his hands on me and do X, Y, and Z. So he's doing that, and he's doing his big one in the room. And girl, at this point, we tit for tat over this iPod. Now, at this point, I'm still on the phone with Leo and Ty, so they're hearing this whole altercation. I think I have it like in my hand or something, because I didn't want to sit it down, because they would have took the iPod. So I have the iPod in my hand, and Leo and Ty are still on this iPod, and they're just listening to the whole ordeal. So at this point, my mom has gone out of the room. She's gone, and it's just me and my stepdad. So we're going back and forth. And I see that this argument is not going anywhere, so I start packing a bag. Like, literally, I started packing a bag, because I was like, either I'm having to go over to my grandmama's house or something else crazy is gonna happen. So baby, I start packing a bag. I'm packing this, I'm packing that, everything. I'm getting my iPod charger. I'm getting the bag ready, girl. I'm getting the bag ready, because so the bag is packed, girl. At this point, I called my grandma, because I'm like, I'm just gonna go to my grandma's house. Like, I don't even know how this is gonna work. I don't even know if my mama gonna let me leave, but I'm going to my grandma's house. So I'm calling my grandma, girl. She answers. I'm like, grandma, I need to come to your house. She's like, okay, you come to my house, but you know right now I'm at work, because it was like 9 o'clock at night, and my grandma works the like late shift. So I'm like, well, girl, but I guess I'll wait on you. I don't know. Maybe I can call my friend. Then my friends, like I said, Ty and Leo was on the phone, so they was like, okay, we can probably, you know, send you a couple dollars for Uber. They was trying to figure something out. And I was like, well, grandma, what can I do with it? If I would have went to her house was locked. I was confused. So at this point, I'm standing outside with my iPod trying to figure out how I'm going to get to my grandmama's house. Girl, in the midst of me standing outside, you know, figuring out what I'm gonna do, girl, the cops roll up. And I'm like, I know dang well. What are these cops doing here? I'm speechless. So my mom starts walking out while the cops are out because she had came out a couple times, but girl, she had seen that I really wasn't studying what she was talking about. But when the cops came out, she walks outside. So I'm in the illusion, I'm in the thought of like they was just gonna let me just leave my grandmama's house, because it gave real chill. It didn't give, like, after I said what I said to my stepdad, he trying to rough me up, put his hand, I packed my bag and I was going. I'm like, well, I'm going over to grandmama's house. It gave very much that. So I'm confused when I see the cops pull up. So the cops pulling up and I'm looking, you know, moving my bangs, and I'm on the phone still with Leo and Ty, and I'm talking. I'm like, cops are here. The cops are here. So the cops come up and talking about some what's going on. I'm like, ain't nothing going on. I don't know why you're here. So they talk about some, we got a call, More of the story, my mama called them, girl. My mama called them and told them that if they had an interaction with me, don't tell that she called them on me. But girl, it's not like the neighbors was calling. Ain't nobody outside screaming, hollering, going on. I'm standing outside with a little bag, not even on the end of the street. I'm standing at the top of the, top of the driveway with my little bag. Kiddo, you probably even see me. I'm near the bushes. So it's not like I'm outside causing the commotion. I know why you were called, sir. So don't talk about, so, oh, you know, we got a call. So let's see. So at this point, he's going back and forth with me. Like I said, my mama was approaching. She's talking and she's saying, you know, oh, I'm livid and I'm outrageous and I have a device that I don't want to give up and I'm like, well, I'm not giving it up. Never gonna get it, never gonna get it. So at this point, you know, the cop is asking, like, no, what wants to be done here? What you mean wants to be, what y'all doing? I have not done anything. I have not done anything. What do you mean? Nothing's to be done here. I'm so sorry, sir. You needs to go home. You need to go back to the base. You need to go back to the department, do something. That's the only thing that needs to be done here. So the moral of the story is the conversation goes for me to go back to the mental hospital. There it is. There it is. There it is. Like I told y'all, every time my mother and my stepdad and I had a disagreement, there I was sitting in the back of a police car headed down to the mental hospital, girl, headed down to the mental hospital, and here it was, and I was speechless because this is my 12th grade year. I'm 17 years old. I'm just kicked out of school. I just got readmitted back into school for alternative school. Supposed to be going to alternative school in, like, I think in a couple of days or like a week and a half. I'm supposed to have started alternative school after orientation. I'm supposed to be starting alternative school. I'm in the 12th grade. I'm 17. I'm like, there's no way you're sending me back to this mental hospital. At this point, I hadn't been in a mental hospital since like 10th grade or either 9th grade. Last time I was in a mental hospital, I was there from December to June, and that was the last time I was there. So when I was told that I had to go back, this time when he was talking about, when my parents were talking about some driving down to the behavior hospital, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. So I'm on the phone with Leo and Ty, and I'm like, they're trying to make me go. They're trying to make me go. They're trying to make me go. More of the story, girl, I end up getting ushered into the police car. Now, I end up having to get off the phone. He ended up telling me, like, get off the phone, get off the phone. I didn't have no problems. I get off the phone. I'm not giving y'all my phone. It's an iPod, but I'm not giving y'all my phone. But I'll get off the phone. So I get off the phone or whatever, and I put it down in that bag that I had packed with the charger and the clothes and the underwear and all that stuff. Because another reason I had packed the bag is because I thought I was going to my grandma's house, but even if I wasn't going to my grandma's house, I wanted a bag packed just in case they would have pulled this mental hospital stuff, because usually, girl, my mama would take her time getting down to the hospital to bring me underwear, any type of thing. It'll be like days. So I want to have a backpack. So I had this bag packed or whatever. Like I say, I get off the phone and I put the iPod down in the bag, and the cop is literally about to walk back in the car and drive off and take me down to the mental hospital. And girl, here is my stepdad ushering for the cop to come back. After they stood at the top of this dang hill talking probably like 6-7 minutes, and then the cops, you know, finally comes back down where I am sitting in the back of the damn police car. He finally comes back to the police car, you know, to drive off, and here comes my stepdad ushering him down as if he finna get tithes and offering, ushering him down. And he's telling him, get the bag from him, get the bag from him. As if I got like a bomb. Get the bag from him, get the bag from him. What? Get the bag? I already knew that they wanted that bag because the iPod. It's nothing I could do. I'm in the back of a police car. What can I do? What can I do? I can't do nothing because it's not like I can hide the bag. What I want to do with the bag? Girl, I had to get it back up. So he takes the bag, and I'm literally angry. I'm more angry about not having my underwear and X, Y, and Z, all the clothing and stuff that I put in there that I would need to either stay at my grandmama's house or the mental hospital. I'm more angry about not having that than the iPod, because the iPod is about $100. Okay, $109, girl. I could find me $109 and get another one whenever I figure this mental hospital situation out. But I'm angry because I don't have any clothes, and here I am headed back to this mental hospital that I was just in 2 years ago from December to June. So I'm in this cop car and I'm angry. It's a white cop. It's a white man and we're driving down the expressway headed down to the behavior center that I'm always took in. So I'm angry that my bag is gone. He was called for no reason. I didn't put my hands on nobody. I didn't threaten nobody. I just said I'm not giving you my iPod. And now you're taking me down for having an argument about an iPod, sir. So I'm angry. So I'm in this police car on the expressway and I'm kicking the back of his seat. I'm kicking the back of his seat. I'm punching the back of his seat. And I'm calling him all type of crackers this and crackers that and this, that, and knick-knack, paddywhack. I gave that nigga a bone. I was reading him down, okay? I was reading him down, cussing him out and kicking the back of his seat. Reading him down, cussing him out and kicking the back of his seat. Oh, I was doing it, girl. I was reading him down. Out of nowhere, this man pulls. Like, it's crazy. Crazy. Because at this point, he was like telling me to stop it, but he was more calm and he wasn't saying it as regularly as he needed to be. Girl, out of nowhere, this man just pulls over on the side of the expressway, y'all. Pulls over the side of the expressway. And he comes to me and opens up the side door, you guys, and we have cars flying down. We have cars flying down the expressway. And this man says, if you kick my seat or call me a cracker one more time, I'll beat your ass. And when I tell y'all, I sat there, it's the most silent ride ever. I sat there and I was quiet because it was so much going on at that time. Girl, literally, it was 2020. This is 2020, girl. There was so much stuff going on at that time. Ain't no way. There's no way. If a white man that's a police officer with a badge and a gun told me that he was gonna be my, oh girl, before you can tell me what you was gonna be, that's fine. I was sitting down. I just wanted to let you know that I really didn't appreciate what you was doing to me. But since I already let you know that, it's no more need for me to let you know even farther because we both, you know, understand each other. So after he told me that, I calmed on down and we rolled on down to the mental hospital, girl. Now, if you haven't seen my mental hospital series, this mental hospital in particular was not a mental hospital. What it was a behavior center. It's a behavior center for people that have, like, you know, anger issues, who get into arguments with their parents, and it's stuff like that. This is basically before you go to juvenile detention, we send you here. That's what it is. It's not really like a mental hospital. It's not a padded wall. It's not all that. It's not giving all that. So we get there to the behavior center. Now I get there, I check in. Of course, you know, the police officer has to, you know, do his quick little detail and review of what happened, of why I'm here and X, Y, and Z. They check my vitals. They check my blood pressure. I had been there so many times. They had known me. They ended up getting on the radio and calling over to the child adolescent unit where I was before. And they like, hey, y'all won't believe who back y'all won't believe who back over there. So, cause like I said, I had been there already from December to June. So they're like, oh, y'all won't believe who back over there. Some of the staff from over there, the child adolescent unit, they end up coming over to check in to where I was. That's what you call that unit. They call where I was check in. They end up coming over to check in, girl, and we keep in and we talking. I'm like, girl, I'm back at it. Oh my God, back at it again. Ooh, she back at it again, girl. So we keep in because they already know what's going on. They already been through this a million billion times with me. And at this point, we're in because they're like, we're not even going to admit you. I'm like, y'all not gonna admit me? Like, y'all not gonna let me come in? Like, we can keep for a couple days, chill, girl. Let's see. Like, I'm like, y'all really not gonna admit me? And I'm keying down because they're like, we're not admitting you. We know what she does. She calls, she gets angry at you. She wants a couple weeks for you to sit in here and cool off. The last time she had you here for months. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this with her. So we're keying down. I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't know. So they end up calling her and they like, hey ma'am, what's going on? We're not keeping Jalen for no argument. The police officer came and told her there was a brief argument over a iPod or something, and you have the device now, so you can come pick him up. Girl, they told her you can come pick that man up. You come pick me up. They tell her you can come pick him up. We're not doing this, ma'am. And she's like, I'm not picking him up. They're like, ma'am, you come pick him up. And she's like, I'm not picking him up. The conversation ends up being deaded. I don't know how it ended, but girl, she was talking about something. She wasn't coming to pick me up. Now, mind you, all of this happened at night. It was late at night. So baby, I ended up falling asleep, and then somehow I woke up and I was still there. I was still there, and did nobody come carry me home in the night. I was still there at the hospital. I'm like, oh my gosh, she really just like did not come pick me up. Like, they're refusing to admit me at this point. They're not taking me in. Like, I just can't sit here in the lobby. Like, but she's not coming to pick me up. She didn't come last night, and now it's this morning, girl. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. And nobody's still not there to pick me up. So breakfast is brought to me. I'm eating my breakfast, you guys, and I could barely get through the meal because their food at the behavior center was top tier. It was good. But I could barely get through the meal for this woman coming in. Now, I didn't know the morning staff. I knew the night staff, y'all, because the night staff, let me tell you about the night staff. The night staff, I was always sent to the hospital at night, girl. It was always a scandal going on at night. I knew some of the morning staff, but I knew most of the night staff. And it was only a couple familiar faces that I knew in the morning when I woke up that morning. I knew a couple people people, but the girl that was coming in and talk to me, I did not know that lady. She came up in there talking about some, oh, we're gonna have to transfer you over to another hospital. I'm like, what? I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? Because like I said, I don't know her, and you coming in and talking about a transfer. Like I got word last night I was going home. We're waiting on my mama. She been a little stubborn. Maybe she's go to work, come back. I don't know. She'll come after work. It's Friday morning, but what are you talking about a transfer? She's like, oh no, your mom found another hospital for you to go to, and we're gonna have to transfer you over. I'm like, well, how am I getting there? I know I'm not riding the ambulance. This woman looks at me and laughs. And she's like, oh yeah, you're riding the ambulance. How did you know? I was like, because I already know. I said, what hospital am I going to? Am I riding the ambulance? Because last time somebody told me I was transferring hospitals and I was in an ambulance, that's when y'all took me to a hospital way out to Atlanta. If you have not seen that story time, y'all, like I say, all my story times connect. Laurel Heights Mental Hospital exposed. That was the most nasty, disgusting hospital, and my mama even felt bad for sending me there. I was only there for a day. Go watch that story time. But when this woman came in the room and talked about we're finna put you in an ambulance and send you to another hospital, I'm like, there's no way you're about to send me to another residential place out of state. You're out of your mind. So she's like, no, we're not sending you nowhere out of state. Where we're gonna send you is it's another hospital here in state. It's actually not too far from here. And I didn't even know Memphis had that many like mental facilities. Like I said, this really wasn't a mental hospital, it was a behavior place. But I didn't know it was that many places like around Memphis. So I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not like I can fight it. Like I'm really putting up a fight like I can fight it, but I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just getting most of the information I can get. So she's like, oh, finish up, tell me when you're done. We do have the EMS, like what is it, the EMAs, whatever the people, girl, they have to put me on the stretcher and make sure that I wouldn't run away. They like, we have them seeing people out sitting outside waiting on you. So whenever you're ready, just let me know, just tell me, but we want to make sure you got fed first. I eat my food or whatever, and they real deal put me on the stretcher and take me out to an ambulance as if I'm like, that had a seizure or something, and I'm on this stretcher right into a whole other mental facility. So I get to the other mental facility and I do not know where I'm at. It feels like I'm in the middle of nowhere, and quite frankly, I was in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, what is this? What is this? Like, what is this place? Now, I check in here, and once again, I'm sitting in a room all by myself. I'm sitting in the room all by myself, but this time, I don't know the staff. They don't know me. I've never been in this facility, and I'm looking around like, what is this? It's a nice facility, but it's in the middle of nowhere, and I don't know these folks. So I'm sitting in this room by myself, and I'm just waiting on something to happen. Out of nowhere, a woman comes in once again, and she's checking my vitals, checking my blood pressure, checking this, writing down and documenting all, the physical things about me and my body. So in the midst of her checking me and X, Y, and Z, she ends up asking me, I heard that you were, I don't know if I can say this on YouTube, homicidal. Like, I'm like, homicidal? What you mean by, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I'm thoroughly confused. Like, what? Maybe you got the wrong person. You sure that little piece of paper you put my blood pressure on say Jalen Porter? Because it can't say Jalen Porter. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm here for not giving out my iPod. Like, what are you talking about? So she goes on to tell me that my mom had told them that I had threatened the family, and I was pulling knives, and I was doing this, and I was doing that, and I tried to push her. It was this elaborate, dramatic story, and I'm like flabbergasted. Like, I'm gagged. I am speechless. I'm like, no, I didn't do none of that. I literally run down the whole story like I told y'all about the iPod, and I want to give it up. I'm like, I don't even know how I'm here, ma'am, and I didn't do any of that. I didn't make no threat. What are you talking about? So I'm getting angry. At this point, I'm ready to make some threats. Because, like, I'm getting angry because what are you talking about, man? What is all of that? And I didn't really want to be labeled as idle, because maybe when you're labeled as that in a facility, they make you a room alone. You're always alone 24 hours out of the day. You can't be around anybody, and I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't know how long I would have to sit in this facility. I did not want to have to deal with that label attached with me, and baby, I couldn't do anything because people thought I was always a threat to others. I did not want that. So I'm literally arguing with this lady, and I'm telling her, like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. You have to be reading the wrong paperwork. Like, you have to be reading the wrong paperwork, ma'am. You're reading the wrong paperwork, because there's no way that you could have this story. Like there's no way my mom could call and told you this stuff about me. Like, I know me and my mom beefing real bad, but like, there's no way she'd have made up this whole elaborate story. Like, there's no wrong mom. You have the wrong mom. Now, let me tell you how God works. With the first hospital I was at, they end up having to, do paperwork on me because I was there overnight. They had to write down an incident, and they wrote down how they, asked my mom to pick me up, and how I was only there about an argument over an iPod and device and XY. All that had to be documented. So in the paperwork transfer over from the first hospital to this second facility, you guys, the second facility end up being able to read the paperwork and reach out to the first facility. They was able to read the paperwork and reach out to the first facility and verify like what I was talking about was truth. Like they basically was able to figure out like my mom basically lied on me and added more to the story because she figured out, okay, when she told them, oh, Jalen was having an iPod hid in his room and I wanted it, he wouldn't give it up and they wouldn't accept me in the first hospital, she was like, oh, well, that's not enough. That's not enough. So we all put it together, like she added and dramatic and threw all this crazy stuff in so I would be admitted into the second hospital. So I am gagged and I'm speechless and I've never been so thankful for paperwork. And like I said, the people at the first mental hospital, they love me down to death. We have been with each other for a long time. They know my mama, they know how she worked, they know how everything falls in place. So when the second facility was able to call that first behavior center and, you know, verify what I was saying was true, it was more than amazing for me. So after they put it together, then my mom lied, you know, there's nothing really we could do right this second. So I have to go back to the actual unit with the patients because I was in the front, like, you know, I was in the front section in a room locked off by myself. But now it's time to go back to the actual place with the patients. So I get back where the patients are and maybe the news had already spread to all of the staff that maybe I was there and I wasn't supposed to be there because people had lied to get me in. Like the news had spread, okay? So this lady behind the nurse station, I don't even know what she was. I think she was like some lead or something. She was like somebody lead. She wasn't no nurse, she wasn't no therapist, she wasn't no doctor, but she was some type of lead. She ends up telling me like, hey, I know what's going on, but you know, unfortunately we can't discharge you today because in order to discharge you, you have to speak with a psychologist and they are the people that write the discharge papers, and discharge papers are required for everybody who is admitted into the hospital. So I'm like, oh my God. And she was like, you know, they leave, they're only here for a couple hours in the morning on Friday and I came too late and they're gone. So I'm like, oh my goodness. She's like, the first day we could count on you leaving is like Monday or Tuesday, depending on what goes on, how busy everything is going on, if they have other discharges to do. So I'm like, you mean to tell me I have to stay here from right now, which is like Friday afternoon-ish. This is like after lunch, like 3 maybe, I don't know. I really wasn't looking at the clock in that mental hospital. I was not looking at the clock in there. So I'm having this conversation with him like, there's nothing I can do. I can't get angry. I don't want to get angry and explain and show behavior that people said I had earlier. So I don't want to get angry, but it's like I'm heated. Like, girl, I wants to go. Like, what is this? Like, what is this? Y'all know my mama lied on me. Y'all talking about a discharge. Call somebody in for 3 minutes. Like, what's going on? Y'all ain't got nobody on call? So after that conversation, I end up going into this TV room. It's this front room because it's like the nursing station right here. And there's this door to go into this room that has like this big window. But that's where all the kids were. And it was a mix of girls and boys. That's the first time I had seen a facility had mixed both girls and boys in the same room. I was actually gagged because usually we're separated. But it's time for me to go in there room after I get the information from the random lady at the nurse station. So I go in the room and girl, they all eyes on me. All eyes on me. Now look here, I do look a little beat up. I probably smell like, you know, ball. Probably reef a little bit because like I said, I have been out of the house since Thursday night, baby, and this is Friday freaking afternoon. I ain't got to wash up, I ain't got to do nothing. So I probably smell a little bit. I look a little mess. I look a little woe down and people is looking at me, girl, as I come in, and I remember like vividly just being like surprised, and I'm like, what's up? Like I'm like, what's up in my little man? I'm not trying to be, hey girl, I'm like, what's up? I'm speaking like, what's up? And I sit on down because like everybody's looking at me as if I'm like a zoo animal, and I'm not. So stop. I end up cracking some jokes and I end up getting into the dialogue and the conversations of everybody else. And I remember this boy that wasn't even in the conversation that I was having with the people that I was cracking jokes with. He wasn't even in the conversation, but he was sitting beside the conversation, okay? He was sitting over to the sidelines, could probably hear the conversation, but wasn't nobody talking to him in the conversation. And I remember him jumping in the conversation. And he asked me, like, are you gay? Mind you, it has nothing to do with the conversation. So I'm like, I am. He's like, okay, cool, bro. All right. And literally, I resumed my conversation. I'm like, that was the most awkward thing. I just really want to tell y'all about that real quick because it was the most awkwardest thing ever. Like, why was that brought up? Like, you could have figured that out. Anyways, by the end of the night, I was everybody's best friend in that room because we were keying, we were talking, we was explaining this and explaining that, and we was getting into the keys of life and all of that, right? Of course, they end up asking me, like, why are you in here? Why are you in here? Because look, let me tell you something. Every time you go into one of these, like, mental facilities, girl, they always want to act like you just busted or something, like you just got trapped in jail. They just want to act like this, like you're in the pen. They want to ask like, what you do? What you do to get here? What you do to get here? What you do to get in here? So girl, they asked me what did I do to get here? And I told them like I didn't really do anything. Like I was hiding an iPod under my mattress. My mom found the girl and she got angry and she was like, give it to me, and I wouldn't give it to her, so she sent me here. That's what I gave them. Like it really wasn't much of the story. I know they thought it probably went down, but it didn't go down. So we still, you know, talking throughout the night and keying throughout the night. Now truth be told, I was really having a good time because not on no sad stuff, but really this was like a break, a mental break from my house. Like it really was a mental break from being at home with my stepdad and mom. It really was a mental break. So I was here with these people, we were keying, we were laughing, and it was actually somewhat decent, somewhat nice, and I felt like a stress reliever a bit, you know. As the night was coming to the end and it was almost time to go to our rooms, and I was so excited because I hadn't seen the rooms yet, child. I hadn't seen the rooms. I just seen the TV room that we was in all day. But as time was winding down, and I don't know why I felt so connected with these people, girl, but I was like, I hope y'all don't feel crazy, but can I ask y'all for like a favor or something? And it was like, what? Like what is the favor, girl? So I end up explaining to them more deeply about what was going on in my life, more past just the iPod. Like actually, you know, me being in the 12th grade, me just being kicked out, me being sent here and my mama lied on me being here, not being able to be at my alternative school. I just opened up about like, I don't know what's going on in my life. Like y'all, I just was opening up and I was just real like emotional, y'all. And I was just talking to them about like, I told them like, y'all, can y'all pray for me? And they were, all of them was like, yes. Oh girl, I'm kind of getting emotional just thinking about it. And it was like, yes, we'll pray for you. And here we are, y'all. Oh my goodness. Here we are standing in this room. And it's like 18 or 19 of us. And we're all hand in hand. And I'm just praying. And we're all just bowed in prayer. And it was just something so special, man. It was something so special. And I still feel that to this day. So they prayed for me, and I remember just being so drained. Of course, we were laughing throughout the day and kikiing, but I just remember like, baby, what is next? What do I do from here? I'm here, but what do I do from here? So I remember being able to open up and just tell them that, y'all. And we were literally standing together, holding hands, praying. And it was just something that was crazy and magical. Now, like I said, the night was wrapping up. So the staff that worked for the facility, they was calling people to take their meds and take showers and stuff like that. So most of the people took a lot of meds, and like half of the people was in showers and the other people was in line for the meds. So it was only like me and like 2 other people that was in the TV room, that I guess the other 2 people weren't medicated, and I wasn't on no medication either, honey. So we're sitting in this room. So I'm sitting in the room as people, you know, taking their showers and taking their medication, doing what they do. I'm sitting in the room, you know, we done prayed. That was probably like 15 minutes ago. So this lady that works for the facility, she comes into the TV room where I am, and I'm sitting in there just watching TV, and she comes up to me, and the first thing she says to me is thank you. And I'm like, you know, I'm like, what you mean? Like, what you thanking me for? And she says, thank you. I seen what you had them in here doing. She said, I've been working here for 2 years, and I've never seen somebody light up the room like you. Oh, not the tears again. Jesus. This supposed to be key. She was talking about she ain't never seen somebody light up the room like this. She's never seen people gather and pray, and she was just thanking me, and she don't know that I kind of needed that. Oh Lord, we gotta wait. I ain't gonna be sitting crying the whole video. She's talking about she's never seen, you know, this much joy in the room before, and she's worked here for years, and she said she definitely never seen somebody, you know, gather people up and pray. Oh, I don't know why I'm so crying. It was just a moment, y'all. This 2020 was a hard year, okay? And this happened in January, so I haven't even got to the rest of this year. Just talking about this, it kind of just triggers me a little bit, and it reminds me of the stories I gotta tell next. So she telling me that it gave me a little push, and it just showed me that I'm able to be authentically me anywhere. I'm able to still prosper no matter what I'm going through, because even though I had so much going on with me at the time, I was still getting praised and I was still getting loved on. So when she came in there, she said that she don't even know how I needed that. So she gave that to me, and I went on and I took my shower or whatever. Oh my God, I'm trying to get through this story, y'all. So she finally took me over to my room, and I went and took my shower, baby. The room was nice. I said, oh girl, I said, with these white folks, I should have known that the room was gonna be nice. I said, oh, with these white folks, I said, baby, I done checked into the Hilton. This ain't no hospital. I said I done checked into the Hilton. So I'm in the shower living life. It is so nice. I did have a roommate. Me and this roommate did not even talk, honey. He didn't say nothing to me. I think we spoke to each other, but it was nothing other than a hi. Weirdly, we didn't even say nothing. Like, I really didn't even talk to him in the room. I think he joined in the prayer, and I respect him for that, but I don't even think he was saying anything or really in the conversations with me when I was in the TV room with everybody. Now I hop out of the shower and I end up hearing like people on the phone call. I remember hearing people on the phone like up front, like having phone calls with their mamas and stuff. So I'm like, wait a minute, where's my call? So girl, Speedy Gonzalez on out of the room, and I head on down talking about, I need a phone call. Now I had no interest calling my mother. Now I was not gonna call my mother. I had no interest. That was not the first thing on my docket. I just wanted to say, hey, I need to call my mom. I want to talk to mom. I want to talk to mom. Let me talk to mom. I want to feed that to them so I can, call somebody else. So girl, they believed it. Now let me tell you how phone calls would work. It was 2 telephones at the nursing stations for 2 people to sit up at the nursing station and call. And also they had this other room to the side that had like 3 phones in there. Now I went into the side room. Okay, girl, I went to the side room to make my phone call, because I had, like I said, I want to call my mother. So down in my sock, I had Ty's number. Like I told y'all in the beginning of the story, I had Ty's number down in my sock, and I wanted to call him and let him know like what was going on. Like, I've been transferred. I'm at this whole other hospital. I don't know where I'm at. I let him know what's going on, because he was on the phone when I, got into the police car. So I called him, girl, and I called him, and I immediately told him like, add Leo in. So he adds Leo into the call. Now it's us 3 on the call, and I'm literally sobbing, and I'm just crying my heart out. I'm telling him where I am. I'm telling him about the whole experience I just told y'all about. I'm sobbing. I'm crying. It's the most emotional conversation I've ever had in a hospital, honey. I'm on the phone for I'm talking about it could have been hours, but it wasn't hours. I say probably like 30, 40. It was a good minute. Like, it was a good time. We're on the phone and I'm able to talk. Now, I did get off the phone. That really wasn't really stressing me to get off the phone, but I didn't want to just hold the phone up. I didn't know if anybody else was waiting on it, but I had got most of what I needed to say out that night. So I was able to, get on off the phone and didn't feel rushed. After the phone call, go into my room, lay it down for the night. I rest. I wake up to the next morning of all HE double hockey sticks breaking loose. I mean, it is going down. I said, what is this? I said, this is giving the old behavior center I used to be in. I said, girl, this is giving Ghetto and Ratchet. What is going on? I hear it going down in the front. I mean, it is going down in the front. So girl, I'm messy. I live for the mess. So I sprint. Oh, I'm running. He's running. I am running to the front. I mean, I'm Speedy Gonzalez. I'm running to the front to see what's going on, because like, I need a good show. It's this bigger black girl. She's cussing. She's going off. She's not too happy that she's there. Now, evidently, it's not her first time there, because I could tell by the conversation that she was having and cussing and going off that this was her multiple time here. Okay, girl, she had been there a whole bunch of times, and she was, they was welcoming her back. So she was not too happy, honey, and she was going off, and I was like gagging. I remember when the staff members telling me to go back to my room. I'm still looking, girl. He ends up coming around and walking me back to my room, and I'm like, girl, please. Girl, within 16 minutes, they end up calling us back out to line up for breakfast. So girl, we end up lining up for breakfast, and it's time to go on down. Now, the black girl that was going off, I don't even know where she's at. Evidently, they got her in one of the padded rooms, maybe because I don't see her. We get down to this little dining facility place they got for us to eat, girl. The kitchen, small. The dining room, small. Everything small. Baby, the chairs, small. The table, small. The food portion, small. Everything small. The food, nasty. I didn't really need a big portion of it anyway, but it's a full-blown mess. It's a full-blown mess, and I'm like, girl, thank God they said I'm leaving like Monday or Tuesday, because I couldn't do this. No. That was a mess. After breakfast, we ended up going back to the TV room that I told y'all all about. So we was in that TV room hanging out for hours because lunch ended up coming up and they ended up telling us get up from the TV room, let's line up and go to lunch. So we ended up going over to lunch, girl. We eat a lunch. Now I don't remember what was lunch, but I don't know why I remember it actually being okay because I remember breakfast traumatized me. I can't remember what they had for breakfast, but I remember breakfast traumatized me where it made me vividly remember the lunch was okay. It made me vividly remember lunch was okay. I can't remember what either one of them was, but I remember lunch being a lot better, girl. Okay, so after lunch, we ended up going to the gym. I didn't even know they had a gym. The gym was nice. It was nice. I said, girl, let me tell you something. With the white, they had some black people here at the facility, but it was majority Caucasian, okay? Majority Caucasian. So with that being said, it was nice and they had some amenities in their joint. So girl, we went to the gym, whatever, not like, you know, not no treadmill and all that, but we went to the gym and they let the people play basketball, and then we had like some hula hoops, like stuff like that, girl. This is a hospital. There's no treadmills, okay? But it was like, you know, nice little stuff to play with, okay, in the gym, girl. Uno cards, okay. So we in the gym having a blast for hours. They end up taking us from the gym, girl, and we move on back to the TV room. Now, as we coming in, I could see that the girl that was shutting down the place this morning was in the TV room, and I was more than excited. I said, oh, she's out to play. I said, I can finally get into her tea. What's tea with her, girl? Because she's out to play. So I see her in the TV room and I'm like, oh, please let us go in this room. Please let us go in this room. Please. We end up going in the room. Girl, we go in the room. I immediately go in there and speak. Me and her end up having a brief conversation. We're talking. Then I end up going back to the section of the group of people that I had been talking to and was building an actual friendship. Because a lot of people liked me and a lot of people talked to me while I was there. But, you know, I had a core group of people that I would just be talking to, you know, majority of the time. But anybody could talk to me. I wasn't rude, you know. So I'm talking to her. I'm talking to the girl that shut down the place earlier. The black girl that shut down the place earlier. Then I go back to the core group of girls. So it was a great day. We talk, we kiki. The night comes to the close and it's time for people to take their medicine, take their showers and stuff like that. We once again, we gather up and pray again. We all pray and it's a nice time. You know, they go get their meds, they go take their showers. At this point, it's gonna give like routine, like it's giving routine prayer. So the night ends, okay? The night ends and I was having a hard time sleeping, and that's really when my sleep issues first started. Like literally, I haven't been able to sleep for 3 years, and it started off back in like 2019, 2020 during this time. So this night in particular, I'm having the same sleep issue and I'm not able to sleep. So I come out of my room and I'm talking to like night staff, like, cause they're sitting in the hallway on the chair. And I'm talking to this young lady and we're having a good key. And in comes these 2 white boys, kings. I'm so sorry. And y'all probably like, a white boy king? They were kings. They were so fine. They were so fine that I was like, this is giving Hilton for real. Like, I was like, this is giving hotel. This is not giving mental state. Like, this is, there's no way that this fine white man is in here like this. Like, girl, this man is fine. I mean, this man was fine. So here he comes in and he's walking and I'm like, well, where is he going? And then I remember the room in front of me is free. So they gonna put the 5 white boys in front of me. Oh, yes, oh, yes. Girl, they end up walking the 5 white boys into the empty room right in front of mine.
This little light of mine, I know it shine. Oh.
For real though, girl. They put them 5 white boys in front of my room and I was like, oh. So I'm at this point, I'm out goofing and gagging with the nighttime staff. She's like, girl, hush. And I'm in there like, oh yes, girl, I can't believe they're in front of me. So I end up later on, you know, going off to sleep and getting to my bed and resting for a little while. Baby, with me being there, I already knew that when we woke up, we was going to breakfast, then we were gonna come back to the TV room. So I made sure after breakfast, when we went to that TV room, I was sitting next to that fine white boy. So baby, after breakfast, baby, what was I doing? I was sitting next to that fine white boy. I'm sitting next to the fine white boy. Sitting next to the fine white boy in this TV room, living life la videoca. At this point, I'm feeling like the finest girl alive because my mama has came to drop off clothes in the wee hours. I didn't even know she was there. She came and dropped off some stuff to wear. So I got the skinniest of skinny jeans. I'm able to look real sick. And I got my new Daisy Dukes on, girl. Got my new Daisy Dukes on, starting riots.
My Daisy Dukes are cause a riot.
Girl, I'm able to look fine. So I'm sitting next to the fine white boy. I'm looking fine. We're looking like B and J. And I'm, you know, talking, and I'm not really just talking to him, but I'm just talking amongst everybody. And of course, me just being a key, he's living for me. He's laughing and I end up I was able to take his arcs and transition into an actual conversation with him. So we're kikiing, we're able to have a actual solo conversation. And it's just, oh, my life is mad, girl. So of course, after that, we go to lunch, and then after that, we go to gym. Now this day in particular, baby, Jim became a mess. Because in comes this white boy and his sister. And I'm laughing because, girl, his mama sent both of them on by their way. She said, yeah! And I see why. Well, we finna get there. I see why, girl. In comes this white boy and his sister. And within 30, I don't even know if it was 30 minutes. I feel like I'm being too nice within saying 30 minutes. Within 15 to 20 maybe. Girl, out of nowhere, him and his sister are having a full-blown brawl because she done slapped somebody and she done got herself slapped back. And now he wants to fight the boy that slapped her back. It's a mess. It's going down. Girl, they called some type of code. They all rushing us out. We're going back to the unit. I'm like, oh, maybe we're going back to the TV room. We're gonna chill. No, we get sent back to our room. I'm goofed and gagged. I didn't know. I didn't know that they did that over here at this white facility. I was like, I thought we would be able to just, you know, calm down, cool down in the TV room, watch the TV. But girl, they talking about something. Go back to the room. So we're headed back to our rooms and I'm speechless because I'm new here. I'm like, I didn't know it went down like this. But going back to our rooms ended up working in my favor because the two fine white boys were in front of my room. So everybody's in their room and I'm standing in the door of my room talking to the white boy that's standing in the door of his room. Now, it was two fine ones in the room, but it was this real one fine one. And he lived for me and I would live for him. So we were having the conversation. He was standing in his doorway. I was standing in my doorway. We were both just kikiing. We were able to talk up and we were able to spend time. Girl, I remember staff coming and checking. They didn't stop us. They didn't tell us get out of our doorways. They didn't do none of that. And I lived because, girl, if I was at the other facility, it would have been very much get out of the doorway, get out of the doorway, get out of the doorway. So we're in the doorway kikiing and talking up, and out of nowhere, girl, dinner comes. So it's time for us to line up and go to dinner. The atmosphere between the new girl and the new boy, you know, the brother and sister, and the boy that got slapped and was slapping people back, it seemed cool. It looked like they had moved past it. They really wasn't talking. They wasn't kikiing or nothing. But it looked like, you know, they wasn't really trying to go about their war. They weren't trying to, you know, they weren't trying to go about their war no more. It was over and done. That's what it gave. So we had a good dinner. I mean, you know, it was behaved. Like I said, the food wasn't good. We had a behaved dinner and people were in there chill. After dinner, we ended up going into the TV room, and child, within 30 minutes of being in the TV room, the brother and sister were back arguing with the black boy that, you know, got slapped and slapped the sister back. And I'm like, what is going on? Now the argument is getting heated, and the staff, they really wasn't in that room with us because, like I said, that room had like a glass window, like you could clearly see what's going on. I don't know if they could really, you couldn't really hear what was going on, but you could see girls, some girls start, you know, doing something, but they really wasn't in there with us. They were surrounded by the nurse station up there talking and stuff like that. So this argument is breaking out between, you know, the brother and sister and the black boy, and I'm watching it, you know, go down. Now out of nowhere, I hear the N word be dropped, and I get heated. Cause y'all can do what y'all want. Y'all can argue what you want, but girl, you're not gonna look, little white boy, you're not finna use this towards this black boy. Cause now we're both finna slap you and your sister. We finna get both of y'all. We finna get both of y'all. So at this point, I'm going off. I'm heated. Girl, people gagged in the room because, like I said, they've seen me as, you know, nice, key, but I ain't really been going off like that. But you ain't finna do this. You ain't finna do this. So I'm going off, and I'm thinking in my head like, calm down, Jayla. Don't go off too hard. Don't hit him. I'm like literally calming myself down. I'm trying to get myself to calm down, but sometimes when my feet start kind of moving over to him, I don't know how, girl, I don't know how, but my feet start moving over towards him, girl. So I don't know what was going on with my feet, but girl, they start moving over towards him. But before my feet could fully get over there, girl, black boy that he actually called the N-word, girl, ends up punching him, and I said, oh, I'm goofed and gagged. I am gagged, girl, because like I said, my feet had started moving. I don't know what my feet was doing, girl, but before my feet could get there, he had already got punched, and I'm gagged. His sister standing there screaming, hollering, looking like Rapunzel, looking a fool. She just sitting there hollering and screaming as if, I don't know, she's on Mono Scott's newest show. So the black boy and the white boy are fighting. I mean, it is a brawl, girl. In the middle of the brawl, this white boy drops and has a seizure. I swear to God, drops and full-blown has a seizure. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What is this? What is this? I'm gagged. I'm speechless. I guess I'll see y'all for part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this story. Make sure you guys like it. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new. Make sure you guys check out the other stories in the mental hospital storytime playlist. And I'll be back with part 2, girl. I've been crying at this story, been laughing. This has been a lot, girl, but I got to go. But the story time ends here. And of course, I'll be back real soon with part 2. And I hope you guys enjoyed this, okay? And I'll see y'all very soon. Bye.